Backroads is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money by the vote of the people, November 4th, 2008.
The ship, investors bowed, the vessel sank, the plasma spheres collect content. I was wrong, the light broke well, took a nasty nibble from a solar sail. A signal, red lights flash for pay, copy conflict, all out way. We were bound, Ahab is electric. We were bound. We were bound, Ahab's electric.
I'm Mosey Mosted. I'm in the band XOXO. It's Nate Larson, Garrett Berkey, myself. And it just kind of sounds like early 70s rock and stuff like that, something like maybe along the Stooges or something like that.
And how did XOXO start?
It was Nate, me, and our friend Cassidy a few years ago, and we just got together for fun as friends in Solway for about a year until something gelled, and that's the sound we ended up with. It wasn't really planned. We lost Cassidy to him building a log cabin in LaPorte, and it was just the two-piece for a while, and then we just got Garrett Berkey a couple months ago, and he's kind of definitely added a lot of order to our two-piece sound, so it's a lot better with him in there.
So if someone had never seen XOXO live before, how would you describe to them what the experience of an XOXO show is like?
It might annoy you a little bit at first, but if you give it a minute, it's supposed to be kind of tongue-in-cheek and it's supposed to be kind of fun and let loose. It's supposed to be, it's cathartic for us, and we kind of hope, or I hope it's cathartic for people that listen to it. I know when I go to loud shows, that's my experience. It's a cool release, and it's cool to hear it kind of dig into your fibers, the bass and the music and stuff. You're going to hear just really loud stuff, and then you give it a minute or so, and your senses are going to come around, and you're going to start hearing melodies and maybe a harmony or two.
I could not break from the arrow, I could not break from the fates, and you've been busting heads since the stone. A from the bottom, A from the bottom, A from the bottom, oh, of the sea. You'll be there. Watching from the bottom, from the bottom. I won't stop till I am lost. If I won't stop till all is lost. 1,000 omens, Starbucks, that will touch the crowd. Oh, if it wins, then you preach. Yeah, from the bottom, from the bottom. I could not break from the arrow, I could not break from the veil. I could not break from the rope like it broke my soul and my name. And I won't stop. And I won't stop. And I won't stop. And I won't stop until I'm at the bottom.
And what is kind of your history with music? What got you into performing or just getting into music in general?
My mom was a piano teacher, so I briefly took lessons as a kid. My dad was in a blues band. I lived on a farm, so we had this garage, and every once in a while, musicians would come and play like a little jam blues thing every once in a blue moon on a Saturday. And at first it scared me because I couldn't run away from it. You could like hear the vibrations, feel the vibrations in our house from the garage, and it was unescapable, but after a while it grew on me. So both parents are musicians. My brothers were showing me the stuff they were buying, thrash metal and stuff from the 80s, and so it was an eclectic background, but it was a fun little musical home to grow up in.
So did your family teach you to play too?
Yeah, Mom taught me a little bit piano as a kid. I think it kind of got in the bones a little bit. It didn't really stick, and then my dad taught me Hey Joe on the guitar, and that was fun. And that was kind of the first little fun ditty I learned as a kid. I was like 12, and from there it was just digging into tablatures and stuff, whatever, and teaching myself how to play the songs I like to hear.
So were you in other bands before XOXO?
Yeah, my first band was with Axel and Scotty Domeyer and Brady Rowe, and it was called Moog, and we were so not musicians at the time, we didn't even realize there's a whole brand of synthesizers called Moog synthesizer that we were here. And so we went under a few other terrible names. Oh, we played a few shows, and it was fun. It was like a really good learning lesson how to work with other people and learn how to grow songs with these other people, and it was really fun. I learned a lot from that.
We was looking for food. Anything would do. We was a part of a crew. And now it's just him and me that makes two. Anything would do. And we found you. Then we found you. Better pay that you got food. We dump your blessings before we eat on you. I don't want to hear no boo. I don't want to hear no boo. You say that you got food. It looks like an official turkey too. Anything would do. Then we found you. Then we found you. You better swim and pass too. The thick is sexy and your wrinkles are cool. And then we found you. Then we found you. What the hell are you? Ooh, and we think we made a friend here too.
So how's the songwriting work with the group? Does someone like come in with like, hey, here's an idea I have for a song, and then the rest of the band kind of builds off it, or?
Typically, I'll write a guitar riff over a week, bring it in, and then we just play it out, and then it'll start evolving, and then we start adding a second part if there's none, or just changing up the existing part, that I brought in. Just what's the best way we can work this where we all gel and really enjoy this, and so it's not dry for anyone. And the lyrics are just kind of sci-fi. I wanted something meaningful without being so melancholic. And after you listen to a lot of blues and thrash metal, it's some of the writing process is the muscle memory is a little set, and so this was a way to break from how I used to write. And it's quicker, it's way more fun. You can just make stuff up and try to string some meaning in there still, but there's a lot of play, there's a lot of room for, at least for me, to play where nothing is super sacred in the writing process.
And what are some of the influences on XOXO?
We didn't have a game plan. It was just a barista at Dumb Brothers. Nate came by a lot and talked me into playing music with him out in Solway, and we go out there and just kind of, hang out on Thursdays and just make loud sounds. And like I said, it took a year before we had these two practices where a single song still existed from the previous week, and then we started growing from there. And the sound that was, I compare it to some of the garage bands of the early 70s, just a little around the edges, but fuzzy sounds, distorted sounds that are kind of fun to play with. So I'd say it's, again, compared to the Cramps or the Stooges and something like that. I do write more melodic stuff too. This is just the loud and heavy. That's what I listened to for so long. Since I was like 5 or 6, I've been listening to Rest in Peace and like the thrash Metallica days. And I don't know, I love that stuff so much. And I've always wanted just to play something this kind of greasy, hard style, a little fuzzy and a little rough on the edges. And for a long time, and so it kind of, like I said, we didn't plan on it, but when it turned into that, I got really excited that it is going to be heavy, less is more, and I really appreciate that stuff too. I do like Garfunkel and all the, yeah, I like folk music, I like the old folk stuff. This just works like with the people that we assemble. This sound just seems to really work easier. I mean, then instead of trying to fight and trying to force a sound, just like letting us gel, whatever, build a chemistry, and this seems to be where we overlap. And so this is why XOXO kind of ended up getting its sound, is just, it just works with the three of us. It wasn't planned, and it's just heavy.
So what's it like for you performing live? Like, since you like playing, like what is it about performing your music live that is so enticing?
It's just fun adrenaline rush. Get all excited, to play, and you want to give a good show. And so usually I'm about 30 ounces of coffee in when I stick it on there. And I just get so excited, and I love it, and I just want to play well for people, and I want them to have fun, and I just get a big old rush out of it. It's fun, it's exciting. It's like driving a fast car without, having to do it.
You got your Plato's. Plato's step pairs. They fly with Satan. Just like little demon. Plato's step pairs. You got your Plato's. Oh, Plato's step pairs. They run my captain. Just like a pussy. Just like Thanks, everybody. That was awesome.
Backroads is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money by the vote of the people November 4th, 2008.